Radiant team ban. Dire team ban. Radiant team ban. Dire team pick.
Lena.
Radiant team pick.
Winter Wyvern. Dark Seer.
Dire team pick.
Good afternoon and evening, everybody, and welcome to the D2CL Season number 6, where we've got HellRaisers versus Monkey Freedom Fighters, game number 2. Coming at you, my name is Gorgon the Wonder Cow. You can catch me on Twitter at The Wonder Cow and writing for just every major Dota publication in the world. And of course, I'm joined here by Dragon Drop for game number 2. I know you're not feeling that well, Dragon Drop. You've got a bit of a throat thing, and I appreciate you coming in and joining me.
Well, there's nothing like Dota to cure any sort of illness. Man.
All right, well, we're already pretty well underway for this draft. Monkey Freedom Fighter is going to go back for the Darkseer, but this time they're going to get that classic, or I guess modern classic combo, the Darkseer Winter Wyvern. So powerful in its execution.
5 seconds.
I mean, if you can't get Lena Earthshaker combo, you get something like that. Winter Wyvern Darkseer. Great throughout all stages of the game, and that's what makes it really. Wyvern, of course, with the Arctic Burn, great harassment tool, last, really great clear once you max that out. Cold Embrace, situationally useful up against physical like damage dealer online, and the win. Need to talk about that great locked AoE lockdown that goes. Here, well, he can hold himself offlane, and even if he can't, he does have the option to fall back into the jungle, farm that up with the Iron Shell, and get to a. Same time though, HellRaisers, they pick up some and Queen of mid heroes, but yeah, that leaves them with some options. Can be played offlane, so see how they want to end up running.
Lena can be played as a farming carry as well. She does end up throwing out, especially if she goes for a Scotty for some survivability and the additional slow. Make sure that she does not lose a target. She actually does a lot of physical damage output come that 30-40 minute mark where it starts to get. Gyrocopter is going to go down. Right now for HellRaisers, the moral of the story is try to make sure opponents are being forced to pick people who get bursted easily. With both Queen of Pain and Lena, you've got to think, look for high armor heroes that have low HP. That's what you really are hoping Monkey Freedom Fighters are going to be picking up.
The Shadow Fiend is definitely that. I mean, he's very first damage, even if Aghanim stuff so strong, and Queen of.
Yes, Slardar's a pretty good pick here, I would say, even though he's kind of rising back into the metagame a little bit, but he's not really there. His win rate's also not really there. But HellRaisers are a team that have, once again, they have a lot of low HP, high mobility heroes. Throwing that negative armor onto somebody, in addition to the negative armor coming out of the Shadow Fiend, Presence of the Dark Lord aura, just stacking that up, and then hitting them with a bunch of damage coming from Darkseer illusions, and throwing out that Winter Wyvern ultimate, which is all physical damage as well, can be really, really effective. So the negative armor strategy stacked on top of physical damage seems to be the name of the game for Monkey Freedom Fighters. It's almost the exact opposite strategy that HellRaisers have.
Slardar is actually, I feel, one of the heroes that's that kind of link in aggression, run in aggression, like Queen of Pain. Because if you're not really careful about running at the Slardar, he'll just crush and either run away with the sprint, or just able to turn around entirely and get a bash or two. It's actually do quite a bit of damage, especially once he 6 and get minus armor on top of that. Sort of, it's not a bad hero. I really love seeing Star played. Just that it works in not an all draft.
Yeah,
I see him all that often.
He gets kited so heavily too, and that's the real problem. You know, Queen of Pain, Bloodseeker, great kiters, Naga Siren, also great at pulling out those kites. As soon as somebody gets close to you, just throw that song on, get a safe distance away, let your team collapse in if you want. The reinitiation potential in that Naga Siren is really powerful. And do you think that that's going to be a support Naga, or is that a one-position Naga with support Lina or support Queen of Pain?
10 seconds.
It's a really, really good question, and at this point, you can read
Radiant
HellRaisers.
team pick.
As far as I remember, they
Dire team pick.
run for Naga. Might be mistaken though.
Not many people run a core Naga that you don't even see Naga that often since CI. She exploded there, but relative to that level of popularity, I've not seen, especially in the West, all that much. Naga Siren's win rate as a support prior to TI, and I don't know the TI post TI numbers, was higher than her win rate as a carry, and I suspect that that is still
5
true.
seconds remaining.
Yeah,
Especially considering the success with that support Naga Siren moving through TI. So my suspicion would be support Naga with a farming Lina mid Queen of Pain, maybe an offlane Bloodseeker, possibly switching Queen of Pain offlane and the Bloodseeker safe. And the Night Stalker as a 4 spot makes a lot of sense here. Rubik is an interesting pick here. A lot of great spells to steal, but they are very quick spells to try and grab.
This Naga Siren as a support role, I think really fits just better, because the core Naga still takes quite a while to get online, and then drags out the game so freaking long. In this matter, it's very mid-game and fighting oriented.
Yeah, we've been seeing...
this aggression really hits before the Naga, just before the Naga is actually getting closer to that, to the Radiant, so at that point you're actually very susceptible to ganks, and if you get the Radiant too late, then you will have lost the game, or you can really get 6 out of anything, so...
Yeah. The support Naga fits the HellRaisers playstyle. They have a very classic CIS playstyle as well, right? They love to be super aggressive. They love to dive behind towers and do all sorts of nonsense to just kind of demoralize their opponent. And
prepare for battle.
As that works out, my vision is once again reborn, switching around my hotkeys between games here, trying to figure out how to get all vision back. There we go. I hate that. Born. Well, like I was saying, they like to grab that 4 position. The Night Stalker, they like to be able to have that control and the reinitiation potential out of the Naga Siren, and that's a much more early mid-game centric strategy than the alternative, which is farm that Naga Siren in a 4 protect 1, open up as much space as possible, which you could do with this lineup, but it doesn't really fit what is their bread and butter. They're going to go ahead and block out this camp just to open up. They're not going to drop any sentries to double block, which is something we've been seeing some North American teams do lately. Not that concerned with it, but they are going to scout out and see if they can find anything. Monkey Freedom Fighter's not really that interested in engaging early. They don't have that much in way of early game damage, so with the exception of if Shadow Fiend does get Shadow Raise first, and they've got a ton, but usually that's not going to be the case.
This doesn't end up mattering. They're gonna trade ruins 1 for 1. Shadow Fiend will get his top, so he'll get the raises and the soul stacks up and running. Wouldn't really surprise me if he has help from like add on the Winter Wyvern here, just to ensure these first couple of right clicks.
Yeah, so we are going to have Paris sliding around on the Slardar here for Monkey Freedom Fighters. In the mid lane, we've got 3. Bucking Mad is going to be chilling out on the Winter Wyvern. WK was a player that we are not exactly sure where he came from, but he is going to be taking the Shadow Fiend, and moving up toward the top lane is Yapsor, reprising his support role, this time on a Rubik. And of course, once again on the Darkseer, it is going to be Beaver Knight on the Purple Crusader.
Posing him here on the dire side, it's gonna be Shachlo on the Stalker in the middle. Cap Afon. Supported by Medpum to help out a little bit up against Wyvern. Top lane we've got Goddamn on the support Naga. Do some trades. Minus armor for her own, and the 6 base armor that Dread and 1.
Yeah. Picking up the Poor Man Shield as well is going to help a lot in this lane, especially as Paris starts to get some rocks with that stun. The Absor can't spend all day up here unless they're getting kills. They, in theory, could, I guess, just run dual mid lane indefinitely, which seems to be the plan, at least for now. Wow, Afro Ninja low here. But Paris is probably not going to be able to outlast hit a farming safe lane carry as a farming off lane carry, even with support, especially with the aggression that is a Bloodseeker. They're going to throw one stun. They're going to have a second stun here. It shouldn't be enough to really make too much happen. Body blocks are going to be there for a little bit of extra damage, which will help, but Dread just needs to get a couple of last hits. Damn, however, if there were additional stuns, could be in trouble. This is wacky. There we go. There's one stun. There's going to be another stun from Yapstor if he wants to get in. Instead, Dread going to allow get him. Heal up a bit, get that extra damage. There's going to be the return. Yeah, you're right. Nothing too significant happening. That telekinesis coming out a little bit late.
I mean...
Oh, Metpalm rotating up invisible. One Dragon Slave would probably...
This is actually still level 1, so now it's level 2.
Meanwhile, Queen of grabbed the Shadow Fiend, narrow first blood, and here... Now, this is not going to be enough, though. Telekinesis probably not even... After all of that, mid lane ends up giving the first blood.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
Or the bottle.
It wasn't level 6.
And it was also a 2-on-1, right? So,
yeah.
Are there stacks? There are not stacks, which means that the... Well, yeah, there are stacks. So the Wyvern probably fell back to stack. And when that happened, I would assume Afrin and Jay just started being really aggressive. That's my theory. I don't know for sure, because we were watching all of that aggression in the top lane. Bottom lane, this is not a great matchup for Shocklow. But however, offset
mid lane again.
Again, we're going to have some diving here. Zafra Ninja wants to grab one more kill. It will be there, and there is no follow-up. Bucking as he can. He does have the chill, and that will be killed to a tower shot.
There's no way for you to actually walk past there without being in range. A little bit unfortunate there, but you do get the kill on the Shadow Fiend, and at the very least that gives Lina more room and gets up levels of her own. And
Red is gonna consider pushing in. Yeah, I like this trade here. For throwing Paris in the bottom lane where it can actually get some farm, and then returning back to the one-on-one Dread, Beaver Knight, Bloodseeker, Darkseer last game. That worked out pretty well for Monkey Freedom Fighters last game. Their Darkseer was not behind. The Bloodseeker wasn't too far ahead. Everything seemed to work out. If Paris doesn't get some farm, then HellRaisers will just run through them come the second night.
My question is that too late? Because Shocklow, he has got pretty much free farm and free experience down here in the bottom. Last hits and almost 6 even. And the first nighttime just arrived and they're gonna go in the so here. Double damage rune will not protect him here. The stun from Paris might for just a little bit. Goddamn, still behind. Well.
And now Shocklow is gonna be forced back. The surge, there's gonna be a stun, and they're gonna make this turnaround. That is going to be a kill. The wand will not be enough, and meanwhile, there was some aggression potential top lane, though. Red is just going to be forced back away from last sitting, which is going to be the way of it. He's capitalizing on the low heroes in the bottom to try and get a bit more aggressive. He's going to heal up. Yeah, he's very fast. On delay.
Since they removed the max movement cap on him, it's just...
This is interesting. The Night Stalker is going to come in as well. Paris has been left completely alone down here. They're trying to gank the mid lane. Monkey Free Fighters, that is. Paris is going to be held still, and that should be a kill now in the mid lane. Will Afro Ninja coming close enough? Not quite close enough for the telekinesis. The vision around, because this tree had been knocked down, ends up making all the difference.
Yeah, I'm not really sure if one telekinesis to actually Afro Ninja down. Because it's the longest lockdown of Shocklow. He finds mad here. The Arctic Burn though, and we'll fly to the right side.
Arctic Burn is fine. Paris is going to be in. There's going to be the stun on the Shocklow. Paris, meanwhile, Yapstor is trailing with a bunch of opponents behind him. Afro Ninja moving on to the Yapstor. Meanwhile, Paris is trying to scatter away from the south side of these trees. Yapstor will be held still by Bucking Mad, trying to give him a bit of heal, but all he ends up doing is consolidating his opponents around that hero and, well, consigning the Rubik to death.
This game here in that particular fight, and Shocklow actually tanky enough to withstand that. He has 7 armor of his own and star shields.
This is still night number 1 as well. Night number 2 is where HellRaisers are really going to start getting scary. That's going to be that 12-ish minute mark where more than likely during night number 2, Lena's ult will be out. Queen of Pain, very likely going to get her second ult near the end of that night as well, especially if things continue to go well for HellRaisers. Obviously, Shocklow's ability to control the game is going to be much greater in that night. And if they continue to get kills and continue to control the map, he might have an Ags close to the end of that night, maybe just on the peak toward the start of the second or third day.
Lane Dread is actually in a lot of trouble. Slowed down by the Arctic Burn, and Paris gets on range for stun. Do that damage? Oh, the bash!
Bash proc.
Not quite 70%, it's only 10. Also, I'm not quite sure if you missed this, but this camp was stacked like 3 times. Sing Sing just...
Yeah, I was just walking and managed myself over there, and that's one of the benefits.
No gold for you.
Active in that jungle. You can just go in and take whatever you want for absolutely no cost. Granted, he didn't get the experience or very much experience stolen from that, but still got a bunch of gold. Bucking Mad is going to be the bait. Will Shocklow be able to get away is the question. There are no stuns here. And
oh wow.
Oh boy, WK. Dread is just going to dive in. Maybe a bit too far. He will get 1 kill. He will end up trading. There's going to be the vacuum wall as Shocklow is going to try to get away. The night ends. But is going to be called back. Paris is moved on. The Ion Shell doing great work. There's 2 of them here. Shocklow getting very, very low. The stun going to be out on Lena, but she cannot stand in this Ion Shell for very long. Now there's the slow coming out of Shocklow. The net as well. Something will be held in place and, well, send back to the fountain the hard way.
One of these Ion Shells wasn't on this creep. I don't know where it even came from, but it wasn't on the creep, but on Slaughter.
Yeah.
That would have done him. Yeah, didn't really believe Nightstalker to survive there, especially with that. I mean, up on the high ground, there was Light Strike array here, hero there, and 1 hero there.
Yep. Yeah.
Anyone, and if they hit that, then Shashlo would have been able to just another kill or 2 even, but where he barely gets out, that's that Iron Shell not doing because it's on a well.
Yeah, that creep Ion Shell, I believe, was just a holdover from the. I don't think that he had cast that on instead of.
Yeah.
Oh man, Afro Ninja very low, trying to bottle up a bit. Lena's still not level 6. Does not have ult, so they were nothing they can. Stands under the. Tries to get a bit of farm himself. He's only level 4. At least the Lena is just about level 5.
Will get his levels now. So you just have to be careful not to get picked off by anything. But it is daytime, so it's a little bit kind of gangs. I'm smoke going, which they're going to do right now. Playing here. Charger there, of course, very vulnerable as game.
Paris is going to try to bait this, it looks like. Stand behind the tower a bit. It's not night. Here we go. Telekinesis is going to be up. Shocklow a bit too far forward, and that's all she wrote for that hero. Very strong execution. I'm not really sure they needed the smoke there because they came out of Fog of War and Telekinesis anyway. But hey, it never hurts to put down that guarantee in case the lane got pushed out. Still have waited under cover of smoke behind near their tower for their opportunity.
Same time, they probably didn't really expect that far forward because honestly, it was just bad game sense. I mean, the whole map is dark if you look at the vision for the dire side.
Yep.
They have a single ward in the middle lane. Laning stage ward, right?
Right, it's a laning stage or mid lane defense. So it's one of those wards that's really useful up until about 12 minutes where usually your mid lane tower is going to...
is under attack.
Point is, it doesn't give you any vision of any sort of location, smoke or not. They didn't see anyone on the map for a while, actually. Since it's daytime, in fact, the Night Stalker will be that far forward to farm. Maybe they're expecting them to farm their own job or gank elsewhere.
Yeah, I think he probably suspected the gank was going to go out toward Dread, who is kind of out on his own. The bottom lane during that time and is certainly a higher priority target. WK, speaking of high priority targets, if they can kill him, he will not have souls. Afro Ninja will... Oh no! Afro Ninja almost goes down, gets saved by the song, but then blows ultimate. through the song and ends up getting knocked down by Rubik's Fade Bolt. Carter will be a trade up on top as he dove first trying to grab a kill alongside of Sing. But even so, that was a moment of communication troubles for HellRaisers, which really explains their ranking here in the European scene. If they can clean up little errors like that, they would just rise over their peers in their play bracket.
That would have been a really one of these great setups that you can have with an Argosiren when you use that.
Yeah.
You take a bad situation, turn it around, and then you have a couple of seconds to decide, hey, what do we want to do? Can we actually fight this? You can do a little bit more than you had. Oh, Dread.
Not a couple seconds for Dread, as he needs one more auto attack go down, but he's a little bit too fast. Who's low? Nobody's really that low, even. Fast.
Just Bloodseeker, man. He doesn't need a reason to be fast. He just...
They should release a cosmetic for all blue spikes going down.
Just where you play the Ferrari. He is red, after all.
There you go. There you go. Choclo is being seen here by the negative armor, but should be able to get away. He's going to buy his treads and just back. Yeah. The real problem with that mid lane engagement that was just so painful for HellRaisers is not only did the song go off, it saved AfroNinja's life. Like, so AfroNinja would not have had a chance to throw out his ultimate if that song hadn't come out. So you can't really blame Gadam for throwing that out. Here we go, Telekinesis. There is a blink available, so this shouldn't be too much. Fade Bolt out to reduce a bit of that attack damage as Afroninja. Nice tread toggle, uses the bottle, gets himself back up, blinks away. Whole thing working out pretty well. Paris, still no blink dagger. Really doesn't have very much farm to his name at all. And this is what I was talking about early game. Right, we had both said this guy needs to be able to get out, get some farm. If he's up in that top lane, he's going to fall behind. Well, look at him now, drag and drop. 2,700 net worth, behind 4 of the 5, almost all 5 heroes for HellRaisers.
That is not... There are ways where you can game because you have a sprint to be a little bit fast plus a surge. But you're also up against high mobility heroes in the form of the Night Stalker at night and Queen of Pain. Don't even mention Bloodseeker.
And Lina is not exactly... Oh, up top. Nope, never mind. I was going to say, Lina's not exactly a hero who's not mobile to double negative it. The Cyclone Staff that she typically builds for additional movement speed, and it gives her the ability to get away from any one hero. Top, we're going to see a kill onto Dread, but the entire rotation under smoke from behind. Here we go, Paris is going to be the target. Negative armor going out there. The stun will land, but it is not enough. And meanwhile, AfroNinja is going to be held down, but there's a very nice song, this time coordinated. They're going to stay around and fight this. There's the stun, along with the ultimate coming out of Queen of Pain. Everybody is down to about half health. Oh, Lina not quite able to knock down WK. WK's ult does go up. It is able to wipe Lina off the face of the map. Goddamn is also going to be going down as AfroNinja is forced to back up with a haste turn. They should not have hung around their drag drop.
No one has said that with that song you have some time to have and want to stay or not. They didn't quite do that.
That's exactly what you were just like. They have time.
Yeah.
Think about what they do. They can make their considerations carefully and not think in the heat of the moment. And they used that ultimate, and basically all of them stood exactly where they were. All the ultimate did was it bought out the time for the Winter's Curse. That's all it did.
And, well...
ended up not making a difference.
Maybe if they could have...
Yeah.
They were pretty damn close, but not close enough to reset up for more than 2 hero light strike array at the best times. So if they could have gotten that, maybe. But even then, it's a support. They don't really have a lot of time on the light strike array, only being 1. And point is that actually back on the dark side? Yes, there is. So that burst that you have between these heroes is not going to be enough, especially if you spread out your single target. Just blew the Laguna Blade on the...
Oh, up top, the Aptor is going to be targeted of a Laguna Blade as well as Gadam trying to get in. There's going to be the split as he does earn up, and WK protecting him from a dive. Meanwhile, from behind, Choclo thinking about it. He has been seen out here. Dread as well. Bucket Mad is going to go ahead and throw up, but he can't do anything else. He is silenced. There's going to be the mechanism. Meanwhile, up top, There is going to be a very nice placement by the Shadow Fiend, just getting away. Oh, interruption of the TP by the vacuum, and that's very well played. Going to secure 1 kill. Queen of Pain getting returned, but that's a trade they're willing to, especially if they grab the Afro Ninja. Well, stun is out, fucking mad. They need to split up a little bit. No, they don't. They're actually going to blow. Still not enough. Somebody needed to get up top toward that secret shop, split it up a little bit, make sure that they could hunt him down after the blink, force him to blink south where you have more opportunity to catch him. Just wasn't quite there with the coordination. They thought that they could finish it up with the Winter Curse, and to be fair, it was very close.
It was, but I would have loved here instead of trying to join in near the end of the industry. Just go somewhere else to try to head him off after the blink.
He had run down. Yeah, you just drew it out. He had run down for 1 auto attack. If he had waited up here, maybe a vacuum on the Queen of Pain would have been enough, or maybe a Surge Ion Shell on himself could have been enough to clean that up. You never know. But those little tactical errors, once again, not even necessarily an error, just the way they played it, they didn't necessarily lose anything. There's just an opportunity cost.
Not to be this time.
So HellRaisers have kind of evened out over the last 10 minutes or so around that 5,000 mark. They did have a small bubble, quite up to 7,500 net worth lead, but they have lost that short-lived advantage or the 5,000 mark. I think Monkey Fighters, if this goes too long, it's a tip back in their favor just by the nature of how negative armor strategies work. They're really, really strong when physical damage becomes the primary method of attack. Right now, magical damage is going to be the bulk of your ability to burst. And magical damage resistance doesn't scale into the late game. But later on, most of your damage is going to be that right click, especially with the Shadow Fiend Slardar. And as that starts to happen, I think HellRaisers are going to fall off a bit until they start to get their supports semi-carry items. Which is a long road.
But at the same time, MFF still have a bit of an uphill battle. Shadow Fiend. Normally you see Shadow Fiends just... Oh, hello, Paris.
Oh, big dive here from Paris with the Ion Shell. The song is going to be there. He's going to limp himself away. Naga Siren is sitting on top of a mechanism. Will use it. No mech for a minute, which means is almost certainly a tower. Meanwhile, they're trying to trade the mid. I don't think they'll get the mid. I think the top will go down, but the mid, probably not the damage there. Or, especially with the Absolor. Yeah.
Yeah, get back to my point. MFF, they have the Shadow Fiend who is not exactly where you normally see Shadow Fiends at this game.
Okay, well, I'm going to interrupt your point once again because there is no song here. Goddamn is going to go down. Paris coming in from the south and Afro Ninja now moving on top of him. There's going to be the ultimate coming out of Shadow Fiend and out of Bloodseeker. As they move on, there's a very nice Winter's Curse on Afro Ninja, holding that Queen of Pain in place. The Sing Sing will end up going down as a trade. WK trying to get away. He's going to try to TP out. If he gets a raise, he could kill Gadam. Not worth the trade in his mind. He is able to get away as there is not going to be a net. All things said and done, pretty good trade for Monkey Freedom Fighters once again. Anytime they can go even from behind, especially while grabbing a tower, is a good day.
That gets Wonder Wyvern closest. Okay, but looks like Shadow Amulets, so that's... But yeah, MFF, they don't have that Shadow Fiend that like 2,000-3,000 gold ahead of everyone game.
Yeah.
That's the one problem that I see for them now. That's the one indicator that they still have some ways to go, that they can't really just rolling over HR with a blink deck on Slaughter. They have the tool, sure, to start taking these fights now because they have that instant initiation now with Crush from Slaughter.
They need to open up onto the Naga though. They either have to wait to bait out that Naga song like they've been doing, or they need to get that Naga before she's able to actually get that song off. Because if you blink in with that Slardar and put him into the middle of your opponents, and then that song comes out, the mechanism comes out, your opponents have 5 men around your Slardar and you cannot reposition into them, that's just going to be an instantly lost fight.
So they have to make sure that if they do get an initiation, they actually have to follow up behind the Slardar. Fight up on tier 2. Aris had a Blush on 2 heroes, but then he was all alone against 1 or 3 heroes. Point was the rest just Stalker up the other side of the lane. If it's stun, you have to have a follow up. Now it's not at the point where right click one kill. all he really has is the Blink Dagger right now.
So, just for viewers who are tuning in now, I realized that the score marker was not put into place by the admin, or maybe it's a reborn glitch, I'm not entirely sure. But, this is game number 2. HellRaisers are up a game. So, they are playing for victory, while MFF are simply playing to stay in fight. This is a great smoke. Getting Roshan with that negative armor is very easy, very quick. And as Radiant side, if they're able to completely control Roshan, they have an increased win rate of like 30%. Something along those lines.
Got him. If it was like a second earlier and got
with the song
off.
They don't have any vision down here. That smoke wasn't even necessary, but there's no way for Monkey Freedom Fighters to be absolutely sure.
Speaking of vision, I mean, it's what we haven't really seen from HellRaisers throughout the entire game. Part of that is due to the counter warning from MFF. They heard that sentry wards here throughout the game, just D1. But apart from that, it's just lack of HR for these kind of plays. You have a Night Stalker, you do have a Bloodseeker, and you expect them to smoke up themselves and bait the angle, place some observer wards deep in there, and try to benefit that at this time of day, nights.
Yep. Yeah, they are not really maximizing the potential of HellRaisers right now. They've kind of staggered out. They do have a bit of an advantage still, but it's really very close to negligible. The one big advantage that they have that will go away eventually if they continue to hem and haw is that Paris' net worth is still really, really bad, especially considering he was a semi-farming carry. He was in the off lane for the good chunk of the early portion, but he had a support. He was acting as their farming carry, and he has one of the lowest net worths in the game. May be picked off here if there's going to be Ninja can't really move on this on her own.
Let's Paris starts a sprint here. Paris starts a sprint, and Ninja can get damage in. Silence
and the burst. Not quite able to secure it safely. Ninja has no vision this entire area, so she has no idea if anybody is going to. A lot of heroes are off the map for Monkey Freedom Fighters right now, so that was a good call by HellRaisers. Just scouting them, getting a little bit of soaked experience, not taking anything too risky.
One ward that HellRaisers plays is right under a sentry ward. It's been there for a while.
And it will be scouted out here in just a moment and killed.
But it's unfortunate, for sure. Play sentry wards before we actually...
Yeah, I'm not entirely sure that Paris last hitting observer wards is going to be the method for getting back into this game for him, though.
50 gold, man. You know what you can buy with 50 gold? A G branches all day? Win. That's how it goes.
You know why they call him a GG brand.
Exactly. I read it in the guide once.
Yeah, exactly. It's the 6 GG branches equal 1 Divine Rapier. I heard when I used to play Dota 1. I don't remember the exact story. I think it has something to do with Yathits, but I'm not sure. Anyway, Chinese Dota. What are you gonna do? This is starting to become a bit of a stalemate. Night Stalker is gonna try to reduce the vision here a bit. That implies that they're getting ready to move. They have been scouted out. Oh, the net cancellation. Go down. Was thinking about moving on that. Decided not to.
MFF still have to be careful because you do have the Night Stalker with the axe, especially at nighttime with the still going. You do have the vision advantage. And you still have Queen of Pain who's quite farmed, and you have the Song of Silence to worry about if you start fighting.
Shockload is sitting on top of the gem well, by the way. Okay, so that did not end up making it across with the analysis there. Harris is going to be taking up quite a bit of damage, and he will end up going down to that pure damage burst coming out of the Queen of Pain. Winter's Curse is going to go down to Ninja. Meanwhile, WK is going to be sent up by Lena. Lena trying to do quite a bit of damage up here. There's going to be the auto attacks coming out. WK is surged. He's thinking... While on the south end of this side, Shocklow is 1v3, now 1v4. He can't go up this way. There's a wall there. He will die just walking through the wall, trying to get into safety. Siren Song came out very late in this fight, and there is no burst left. Yeah, even though everybody was grouped up, there was no burst to take advantage of that song place. Not sure, it wasn't on cooldown. It just wasn't used.
What?
Siren Song.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah.
Because, well, the fight was really spread out again. I mean, it started off with Paris being all alone up top here, and then Shocklow dying all alone in that same kind of position. It's Weird how that fight went, but the end result is they do eventually get tier 2. Trade the 1-for-1 trade for what hero stats are quite similar.
Oh, YapzOr, we hardly knew ye. Oh, he's got a Cyclone. I hadn't actually seen that come out. He's gonna purge that silence. He's gonna telekinesis. He's gonna steal the ultimate. That last fight, it won't quite be enough.
Make them work for it at
Man,
least.
he manned up there. It didn't work out for him, but you can't accuse him of doing anything but going balls to the wall on that one. Queen of Pain, when she saw her own ultimate thrown back at her, was probably a little bit shocked. That had been stolen in that previous fight during all that bedlam.
Second ult that I've seen earlier in that one of the top lane that needed to up. He actually stole Rupture and put it back on. Doing a good sort of plays as you would expect.
There is this moment in this game right now, and you can correct me if you think I'm wrong. This is like HellRaisers' time. They absolutely need to just go in and dominate a fight right now. Use the Siren Song to reinitiate something, get a big Queen of Pain ult on top of a silence, and just run through 2 or 3 members of Monkey Freedom. They can't do that now. They won't be able to do that again for maybe 15-20 minutes until the Naga Siren is no longer a hard support, till the Night Stalker is a damage dealing carry in and of himself and not just a vision restrictor. This is the time to shine.
Agree. And maybe now is shout out to something the illusions there, but the way MFF is playing as well, the group is pretty much 5 for once they cross the river. Now there's the Winter's Curve again, walking back into the wall. Now's the time to use the song.
Here we go. There is no song, but there is going to be the song interrupts the silence coming out of the Bloodseeker. Queen of Pain ultimate goes off and does hit WK, but nobody else. It's not enough. Meanwhile, WK did get his ult off in that fight. There's going to be a stolen Laguna Blade from YapzOr. The second ult in 2 fights that he's managed to grab for huge burst. Chakra will be going down. Maybe, yeah, there it is. The gem hits the deck, but it's up under the protection of the tier 3. Parrot's getting very low, but Winter Wyvern just enough to keep him alive. The vacuum to force him back. Red will pick up the gem, so at least that does not change hands. Wyvern sitting on top of his own gem. Now, if those fights aren't going the way of HellRaisers, they aren't going to be taking anything anytime. They're going to have to play for the long haul. We're talking 50, 60 minutes. Maybe they're able to equal out the amount of damage that they're doing. But with the builds they have, especially, the Ags on Night Stalker is really an auxiliary item. It doesn't give a whole bunch of damage dealing at any stage in the game. The Lina doesn't really have anything other than the Yule Scepter. She doesn't have boot. The Naga Siren has gone for full heal armor. Queen of Pain has gone for full burst. Bloodseeker's the only one kind of going for damage, and he's even gone for survivability. So it's a long road Dublin for HellRaisers.
It's gonna get progressively harder to actually make these kind of combos work. They get them off flawlessly, and we've seen once again a little bit of a miscommunication there, or insecurity as well from Goddamn. I felt like that Song of the Siren was just a little bit too late.
Yeah, or a little bit too early. One of the two.
Yeah, one of the two. And it was a little bit of a problem that Shadowfiend had his running at that point, and though you show you can net him up, but you still have to get rather close to set up for a problem. And he's actually quite scary hitting right now. Yeah. With all the souls stacked up. Can't really just stand in front of him.
Yeah, a big problem with the way these things have been going is that, honestly, I don't feel like his songs haven't really been that bad. His team just hasn't been on the same page as him. That last song, I understand why he waited as long as he did. They were trying to single out the Nevermore, right? He threw up BKB, and as soon as that happened, there's the Song of the Siren, so they can 1v5 BKB WK. Right, that's the goal, but they had nobody in place for it, and
how do you actually do that?
The ult. Yeah.
Where's the damage I can? Okay, I think he had to run away because you're taken. So here, Night Stalker didn't there either. Pretty much got them all alone up against the Stalker, and then Queen of Pain. I thought says, "All right, I'm helping. I'm just wave on one hero." Yeah, as I said, they're not on the same page and not really getting the combos as they need.
The Yap Zor is still sitting on top of a level 2 Laguna Blade, by the way, which can we talk about how well this guy's been playing? He's 4, 4, and 6 out of a hard support role, having stolen 2 quick-fire ultimates, 2 fights in a row, almost manned up 1v3 a Queen of Pain a minute ago, and secured at least 2 of those kills in that for his team. In a big, big way. Telekinesis made an impossible kill possible. And Laguna Blade also made one of those kills very, very possible out of a situation that may not otherwise have gone their way. What a player.
Absolutely. I mean, if you've been following this player through the European Dota scene, he's up there with the rest. Especially on this Ruby. Well, I believe Earthshake is one of his other signature heroes. Playmaking kind of sport, he's really, really comfortable on there. Right? Shows it once again. Game.
Yep. Lena looks like she's trying to build out an Ags now. She's going to come out pretty late. I don't know. Do you think Ags is the call here?
You have to go Ags. You have to have that big burst to bring down the Shadow Fiend. If you look at the network distribution, or if you just in general, the Shadow Fiend is the only really big problem that I actually have. Apart from that, nothing really that does a whole lot of damage.
Oh, gonna flash back into this fight. Is there going to be the wall? This Naga Siren is gonna secure out that WK, but there's nobody once again to come in and move on him. Gonna give up the Siren Song at least. Pretty much everything that HR had is on cooldown now. At least they did manage to get the wall out of that, but now if Monkey Freedom Fighters want to aggress as soon as Night Stalker doesn't have nighttime going for him anymore, they'll have 30 to 45 seconds of solid push time before they really have to worry about their opponents pushing in or reinitiating on them in the middle of a fight.
Thing is that bees on both Paris and running a little bit lower because of that. I mean, it's not down to 8 seconds on SF. Paris, that was a 10 charge, so it's HR can start the willing down. They can then, in later parts of the game, down Shadow Fiend quickly before he can really have an impact in the fights. I think they can still take because
yeah, I would say the BKB charges aren't as important for Monkey Freedom Fighters as they normally are, because a lot of the stuff that they're trying to avoid is going to be thrown out usually to open a fight, right? Or at least before a 5-second BKB charge runs down, right? They're trying to avoid Naga Siren ultimate. They're trying to avoid stun coming out of Lena. Trying to avoid, or they want to be able to undo a silence, which they can do with any length of charge. Any duration of BKB will undo a silence coming off the Queen of Pain or the Night Stalker or the Bloodseeker. The rest of the stuff that they're dealing with, largely pure damage. It's largely not BKB relevant. So having a long BKB charge, not as much of an advantage here as it typically.
Well, but it would make it much for HR to just go for a sound, get the entire duration, then make sure that these BKB have to run away or end up being caught in that song anyway. So that can then set up all that Light Strike array, for example. Yeah, which is it's going to have to be that big crowd control. Same for the Blood Red Reef. They can finally time that right. The Song of the Siren, and the BKBs are already isolated them during the song. They can't really kill anyone on the etc. And that's the kind of setup that HR is looking for.
This is a bit of a dangerous push. Yeah, moving down toward this tier 2 makes a lot more sense, because this Song and Siren is up yet. They didn't act quite quickly enough. And yes, they do have the Aegis on the Shadow Fiend, but you still have an outer tier tower. Shadow Fiend is getting close to a butterfly. Why not get that extra little surge of gold? Finish up the butterfly before you high ground, so that you aren't losing a lot of net worth if things don't go your way. That we're not really in the stage where Monkey Freedom Fighters have to worry about. Nice song. And that's just going to be the instant TP out. Now that is a good song.
Well, considering that they've been standing there for a couple of probably just teleported out without popping the song.
Yeah, well, it's a good song for the situation. It's not a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
But if you're in that situation, that song saved lives. Now, would it be better if they had the song up here, and if those two players just hadn't had their neck out in the woods and seeing what wolves want to bite them? Yeah, it would have been a better situation to not have two players out in the middle of nowhere by themselves with no vision. Sure. If you're going to be all logical about it, yes.
Yeah, it's gonna be the call for MFF to now take this last remaining tower, and HR, they're gonna trade though. They have charge down here in the middle lane. Top. Question is, do MFF care right now?
No.
High ground with Song being down.
Yeah. I don't think Monkey Freedom Fighters care. Even if they only got a tier 2 for tier 2 trade, that's fine for them. They late game better and earlier than HellRaisers do. So if they give HellRaisers an equivalent Surge of Gold to their Surge of Gold, that's still in favor of Monkey Freedom Fighters until Naga Siren, Night Stalker, Lina start getting DPS items, which is still a little ways off.
So
trading is fine.
Paris.
There we go.
There's
There's going to be the
on
Winter's Curse on Afterninja. This Kinesis as well, and he will be going down. Great TV back and execution on that. Everybody else is going to get away. So they don't go high ground as expected, but they do manage to pick up a kill.
Very important kill as well. That's one hero that's been really keeping up with the Shadow Fiend. It's not really an easy feat.
Yeah.
Can't think we own anti-mage, that kind of.
Lots of armor coming out now for HellRaisers. That will be a big step in the right direction in terms of buying time for them. Getting the Assault Cuirass to try and get rid of the influence of that presence of the Dark Lord, and also having out the Solar Crest in order to knock down some of Slardar's influence. That can make a pretty significant difference in terms of just sustaining high ground defense long enough. As, in theory, if they do go long enough, Naga Siren becomes a very, very strong late game hero. Night Stalker can as well. They still don't have very great high ground attack. They don't necessarily need it if they are going to take a bunch of fights in a row in the late game. At 38 minutes, though, things are looking pretty grim for HellRaisers.
Especially considering the Shadow Fiend. I mean, he's sitting on an Aegis, and he's very hard to complete a butterfly, so even without the Aegis, it's really hard to bring down unless you blow, of course, what they built at Agon. But with the Aegis, he's just gonna come back, and then you can't really kill him twice. So it's kind of a little bit of a predicament that they're in. The song is actually not going to solve.
Yeah.
Wait this out somehow.
And they're probably just gonna end up giving up a Rax because they can't move into that Aegis, right? And they're gonna try to harass him down, but there's the constant heals, the constant support coming from behind. And then he can just charge right back up. There's a small wave going into the Radiant side, thanks to Bloodseeker, but that's not going to be enough to knock down a tower. Oh yeah, this is going to be a free barracks, and a really bad situation to find yourself in if you're HellRaisers. Now that the Aegis is gone, they're going to try to move in immediately. BKB up, as well as Blade Mail on Dread. He's moving in onto WK. WK gets his ultimate off. It does go through BKB in terms of its effects, but not its damage. Dread will almost go down. High ground miss. Causes WK to lose out on that kill. Dread will get away safely. Meanwhile, Gadam setting up another fight. First is there, out on the Chakra. Meanwhile, WK being held up. Ooh. Burn ult out by the lead. Well, and that one hero down. The rest of the heroes scattered for HellRaisers. Melee barracks down into WK just going to walk on up on the high ground. Get this last attack onto the tower. This creep wave actually did pretty significant damage to the bottom tower, at least. Question is, can HellRaisers hold on? They have nobody with a buyback, by the way. They bought out a bunch of items to try and sustain that high ground defense, and it didn't end up working out for them.
Well, there's no buybacks, there's no ultimate on it. Rupture's up, yay.
Yeah. Woo!
Now we're in a position where Shadow Fiend can just go on the high ground and doesn't the world because, well, Laguna Blade only now coming back up, and you... Oh, they're gonna go.
Nice blink in by Paris, and that's going to be a very dead trade. Paris for the Naga Siren, which means when Naga Siren ult comes up, they won't have it still. WK can just stand here. There's going to be the stun, but all the misses from the butterfly. Going to be healed up a little bit by the cold embrace, and then he's going to try to get away. He will not end up getting away. Maybe overstaying their welcome, sinking as well. Going down. How much of a swing is that? Is that enough for the maybe push? There were buybacks in all three, so no. My own question.
It's 3,000 gold chain, and it's the kind of breathing room that they needed. Frankly, because, well, they get another gem. Now is we haven't got one, had one for both base now, but it's a drop on hot stone, Frank, because they have so much more build up on. Because now, even late, we're having a really, really hard time dealing with Shadow Fiend, just bring once. They're not able to Blood Dry combo after the song. They're not really able to chain Light Strike Array exceptionally well up against behind the song.
Yeah. So even though HellRaisers have a pretty substantial experience lead, they don't have the heroes to exert that strength. Right? That's a big problem for them. Well, can they even defend this bottom barracks the next time it comes around without getting some ganks before that lane gets pushed in? I'm not entirely sure they can.
They get another Roshan fight in MFF, then I would agree. No, if they don't, finally get an engagement going their way, which is, as I said before, just blowing Shadow Fiend, using the song well, following up on that song aggressively, using that earlier before half of you are down and out of commission, even if they're not dead. Dread in the last fight, so much damage deep fire and had to walk back to the fountain, so he was in no position to follow up on the song.
Oh, that's a terrible, terrible situation to have to use a song in. Self-defense song, no reinitiation. If this push comes out strong, which they can do because they have a Darkseer with double ion shells, this Rax is going to potentially be sieged before the song is back up. After Ninja trying to do his best to make sure that there's some pressure elsewhere, I don't think that's going to be enough. And yeah, you can see Sing Sing is calling for that push. Sean won't be up in time for this. Kind of fiddling their thumbs on this issue, and they won't end up pushing. I think that's a loss for Monkey Fighters. I think the opportunity cost on that is pretty steep.
Yeah, I would agree. That's what they did in faded out the song, started pushing. Without an Aegis, I can understand them not really, but maybe seen a smoke or something inside that I said another extra.
Lotus Orb is up on the Night Stalker, taking a look at some of our other items. Demon Edge on the Bloodseeker, who's trying to be able to get through that evade chance that is now sitting on WK. Not a lot of new items coming out here for Monkey Freedom Fighters. They're going for a lot of mobility, 3 Blink Daggers and a Cyclone Staff on their team now. But damage is starting to come out. Shiva's Guard as well has been finished as alongside that Axe that's been out for a little while now on Afro Ninja. What do you think? Is it enough? Do they have the point of the game where they can engage? There's a double damage room there for Dread if he wants, but he doesn't want to pick it up because he doesn't want to give away that he's under smoke. Instead, he's going to be caught out. Paris is going to be healed up by the Cold Embrace. Beaver Knight out a bit too far ahead. Gadam still doesn't have Song. He's waiting on it. Queen of Pain through the trees is going to get a nice ultimate out there. It's going to be the damage out of the F-Star along with the Silence. WK throwing out his ultimate and getting out nothing for it. 2 down. Nice for Monkey, or nice against Monkey Freedom Fighters. You goddamn. It's going to cancel TP away, but he's got nobody to follow up with him over there. Just the Night Stalker. And Sing Sing will be able to get away. The blink on the Winter Wyvern is going to be enough, potentially, to get him away as well. Maybe not. Bucking Mad. It's going to be chased deep into Tier 4s by Afro Ninja. Afro Ninja will blink away. And Bloodseeker ends up, meanwhile, chasing down. Why was Sing Sing still here? It looked like he had gotten away. Did he go back in?
Followed and stopped by Nagsai along Dread and shouted to come back because he was back here.
Yeah, I saw that.
Song of Silence held him in place for a long time when they were trying to go Shadow Fiend.
What I saw was that he got up to about here. That was when the dive was coming into the base. So in theory, unless he got stunned out or something, should have had time to get past that point. I don't know.
Probably in the net because it's the 5
Might have been the net, yeah. It's also a very long ramp. Okay, well, the damage has started to come out on the HellRaisers, and exactly as expected, what we're seeing, they're starting to be able to take fights again. Well, they have the ability to control a little bit more, and now this is really anybody's game. If you're Monkey Freedom Fighters, you're up a Rax, but gotta feel a little bit uncomfortable with the way the game is swinging. They never really took a significant lead in terms of metrics, just in terms of pacing and control. And the fact that the metrics are now swinging well out of their favor, maybe a sign that they didn't quite push when they had the opportunity. They're now over 20,000 experience in deficit.
And actually, and for the longest time, this game has, to the metric, according to the metrics, not really been in favor of HR, but the way they've been, the MFF has been able to put on pressure with limited limited resources, but at the same time, they have the resources in a distributed in a way that it's most effective, right? Your Shadow Fiend with enough net worth to be able to Slaughter, who can get by with just being tanky. Do that within the Soul Curers of his own. You have the Darkseer, he has the highest farm here, second highest farm, even for the Slaughter. Starting Greaves, even BKB of his own as well. So, I have been able to realize what they had effectively do happen now. HR, as you said, they're fights, a lot of gold belt, and that is exactly the goal that they bridge that gap that they had in terms of output.
Yes, this is an interesting point, especially because there are not a lot of buybacks in the game. So if this engagement goes off here, either team could be the victim of it. HellRaisers have not secured such a lead that they can afford to die without buyback. Shocklow does throw the Lotus Orb, but he will be taken down into a stun. Ultimate coming out of Queen of Pain. Fucking Man is going to try to get away. And Sing Sing also trying to get away. There's going to be the ultimate onto Dread. That's not going to be anywhere near enough. 3 down, Gem on the deck as well. WK going to go into 4 on his own. Throwing up the ultimate, maybe he cancels. He does get stunned out by the Laguna Blade. There's going to be the Aegis used, and now WK is very low all on his own. 2 buybacks, 1 ultimate still left, but this appears to be high ground.
That was not the fight to go.
Yeah.
They start with not really a whole lot of vision. I mean, they had this observer up here.
Not enough, though. A lot of the heroes were behind these trees.
Yeah, absolutely. Paris went in, then got immediately blown up by Lena with Laguna Blade afterwards. So big tanky hero going down, and then Yapsor and Shadow Fiend, they were so far away. They had to wrap all around the back, and by the time that they got there, the team was already down.
Yep. This appears to be game. I don't know. Slaughter will be up in 2 seconds. Wyvern will be up
and the buyback
in 1.
Shadow Fiend. Yeah, there you go.
But there will not be an ultimate there. Shocklow, I'm not sure what he's there.
It's giving over gems, it looked like.
Yeah, 2 racks down. Buyback on the Lena. No buyback on the. Yeah, what was that gem?
I don't know.
Oh, he bought his Desolator.
Yeah, but
he ran up right as people were spawning. He ran up to buy Desolator. They are only up 1 set of racks, and it is a barren racks. Would go away from their. No reason for taking that kind of.
Do MFF are they actually going for Rex now, or are they going for the Juggler here?
Go for Juggler. They are starting to fall far enough behind. Go in, see if the fight starts to tilt your way. If it doesn't, back out and try to slow siege that Rax. If the fight goes their way, they just take the fight. They take the game. There we go. Yapsor is going to go ahead and grab a Scream Pain as Paris is going to throw out that stun. He's thrown into the Cold Embrace. There's the ultimate coming out of Lena. Some auto attack going out there as well. WK getting very, very low. He ends up going down, almost taking out Dread. A nice steal from Yapsor. Does end up getting the Laguna Blade and securing a kill with it, potentially. Almost. After Ninja throws out the ultimate there. There's going to be the Wyvern down. And that's the GG. A nice try coming out of Monkey Freedom Fighters, but they just did not push when they had the opportunity, and that's what it comes down to. Once again, decision-making and communication for this team just doesn't seem to be there consistently. It's always there for about a quarter to a third of a game, and then it just falls off.
Yeah, not a whole lot to add there. I mean, it's... Yapsor exceptionally well knows Ruben. Yeah, HR got their stuff together, and to a point with items, they're